Okay, we're recording.
Okay,
Go.
great. Okay, wonderful. Hi, welcome. Thanks everyone for coming. You know, it's an exciting topic. It was very exciting preparing for this. My name is Chana Frazin, and I live here in Israel, and it's an exciting time here. I have one child in isolation at the moment, so as I've been learning about stress and hormones, I'm like, yeah, I really needed to learn about this right now. So thank you everyone for also wanting to hear this topic. I live here in the Golan Heights in the north of Israel with my husband and our 4 children. And things are definitely stressful here right now. We're going to talk about stress. We're going to talk about hormones and women. And Kara, do you want to introduce yourself now?
Sure. So, hi everybody. You know me. Most of you do. I'm Kara Blattman-Rock. I'm a founder of doTERRA in Israel. I was living just south of Jerusalem, but now I'm in New Mexico, my native hometown, close to family, and building a doTERRA community here as well. And I'm happy to be co-presenting this topic about women, hormones, and essential oils with the fabulous Chana Frazin. And it's just a work in process. We're always learning about new ways and the way to support ourselves as women with these plant resources that we have with the essential oils. So I hope that we can enlighten each other in some new information that you guys can take home today and use for your own health. Okay.
Awesome. Okay. So I apologize in advance for the glare with my glasses, but I haven't figured out what to do about it. So we'll do the best we can. So first of all, hormones, right? I feel like we think of hormones and we think of women and we think of a menstrual cycle and childbearing years and then menopause, but everyone has hormones and they're all throughout our system. And one of the guiding factors seems to be stress-related issues. Stress, whether it's physical stress or emotional stress, affects our hormones. So anyone who has oils with them right now, reach the one that makes you happy and calm, and let's take a breath, put your feet on the ground, and let's just chill out for a second here. So I'm going to use Geranium, one of the oils we'll be learning about tonight, which is a definite favorite of mine. And as we lower the stress using aromatherapy, you might feel the changes in your chest, in your breath. You can feel your shoulders lowering a bit. Actually, I feel lower. I'm going to lower my screen now. The oils are an amazing tool to bring us into balance, to lower our stress, to treat acute situations, and it's important to use them, not to forget to use them, and that we have these tools at our fingertips. And if you don't have these tools at your fingertips, please either PM me or stay on the call at the end and we can talk about how to get you these tools. I feel like there's never been a better time to get natural healing solutions in our homes. So stress, now that we're all a little bit less stressed, right, can be an emotional or a physical stress, as I was saying, and your body is fighting something because of that stress that's coming in, which is a good thing. We were actually created that way to fight stress, mostly in short-term stressors. When we think of the classic model of, right, like the caveman and the saber-toothed tiger, and we have to run, quick, run for your life, literally. Or if there's a fire in the house, God forbid, you have to deal with it immediately. And sometimes that adrenaline rush that gets created because of it feels really good, and it can feel really good for a little while. And that adrenaline is there to help us in the situation. And then our body calms down when the situation is taken care of, and we get back to a state of balance. Our body can naturally rebalance itself. The problem is when we stay in heightened states of stress, when we're constantly dealing with stress, whether it's something we can handle or something we can't take care of on our own, whether it's paying the mortgage or getting our kids on a Zoom call or the fires in California. So there are too many things in our lives today that actually stress us out. So we need more than ever tools to calm us down. And when we get and stay in these cycles of stress, it's bad for our bodies, it's bad for our system, it's bad for us. And it's called an episodic acute stress, that our bodies are then always on guard and always ready to run or fight. And this causes long-term damage and effects on our bodies, on our cells, right? We hear a lot about cellular health. Stress in a daily doses is not good for our cellular health. So we want to use essential oils to bring these down, to break the stress cycle. So I have I'm going to share my screen now. Can you guys see this? Do you see this? I don't think you see this.
Nope, we're not. Try it again.
Okay. Wow, what happened? Hang on, sorry. Okay, so right now my body's having a stress response because I can't get the thing to share. And
at the bottom of your screen, you're just pressing the green share screen.
Share. Got it. Yeah, so now I just closed that window. Here it is. Okay.
Great. Mm-hmm.
Sorry for all the other stuff. So I'm luckily still smelling my geranium, and I'm not going to let this stress me out too much. I think it's kind of small. There. So here, there are many ways that stress affects the body, right? So starting from the top, it affects our brains, our cardiovascular systems, our joints and our muscles, our immune system. It's not sharing.
We're only seeing your computer still.
Oh.
Your computer screen, not
right.
Okay. Not the actual presentation. Just double click on it again. There we go. Yep, that's it.
Great. So again, from the brain, then the cardiovascular system, our joints and our muscles, right? Aches and pains and inflammation and all these things. We experience physical discomfort, our immune system, our skin, right? Often we break out. Sometimes we get like a petsa, something in our mouth, on our lip, a cold sore, canker sore, whatever people want to call it. It's often from stress or being exposed to something that stresses out our system. Our gut, right, our nutrient absorption, how will we digest things, indigestion. I'm sure everyone has had a time where they have felt sick to my stomach from this situation. So our reproductive system, these are all areas that experience negative effects from stress in our body. So we want to deal with that and not stress out our system. So we want to take control of stress, and one way we're going to do that is through balancing our hormones in our bodies. Hormones are chemical messengers that go all throughout our bodies. I said before, we often just think of like a women's reproductive cycle in all the stages when we hear the word hormones, but actually men also have hormones, and children. Hormones are all over our bodies, regulating all kinds of things, and our major hormone systems in the body are the thyroid. We often hear that people have a low thyroid or a high thyroid. They want to get their thyroid in balance, and they're too tired. They're always hungry, sugar cravings. Those are all effects of that system. Serotonin is a major hormone in the body. Insulin, estrogen, progesterone, prolactin, testosterone, and cortisol. So we want to be able to balance all these systems in the body. And the great way that we love to do it in our home is with the use of essential oils. So we're going to jump into the oils that are like kind of the top 5 or 6 for hormone balancing. And I'm going to start with what I believe to be, and much research has showed me as well, that Clary Sage, this one with the blue bottle, if anyone has Clary Sage, you can take out your Clary Sage. It's not the loveliest smelling oil on the block. It's a very earthy. I love it. I often think it smells like dirt.
Hey, thanks to Nechama and Clary Sage. That's the one that closed me on doTERRA. So I think it's amazing, just to chime in.
Okay, good. But I'm reading everyone, and we'll have comments from everyone else later. Thanks, Yachad. So yeah, Clary Sage is awesome and grounding and wonderful for a woman's reproductive cycle. It is great to help people get pregnant. It is not to be used during pregnancy until the actual birth, and then it's great, use it in birth for a hopefully faster and less painful birth. It alleviates like muscle spasms and muscle tension and cramping. So anyone who has any menstrual cramping, this is great. Just put a drop or two, and wherever it hurts you during your cycle, it's fabulous and works super fast. It's also very grounding, as I mentioned, which is great to then help support a great night's sleep, which then helps with our serotonin and cortisol. Right? Cortisol is our stress, the release during stress. So we always want to be keeping that cortisol response down. So Clary Sage is great for that. And one of the things that why I love this as a great sleep or nighttime oil is because it helps to actually calm the mental chatter in our minds, which just once we quiet the mind, we can really calm down much deeper, which is awesome. So the Clary Sage, not sure if I just said it, it actually does decrease the cortisol levels, which is amazing. And we definitely want to do that. It's anti-spasmodic, so it's great for cramping, like I said, but you could use it in different parts of the body, not just for menstrual cramping. If you have cramps in your leg, because it's anti-spasmodic and sedative, it's great. I love mixing this with geranium and wild orange at those special times of the month when I'm having cramps, because it's the main ingredient in Clary Calm. But I'm allergic to Roman chamomile, which is in Clary Calm. So I have a really hard time using it, which is unfortunate because it's such a great oil. But I'm literally allergic to it, and I get congested up here. So I save it for when I always have one in my bag or in my house for emergency uses, and really to share with other people who aren't allergic. But I did have an instance a few years ago where my cramps in my back were so bad, nothing was helping. And I took it out and I said, okay, this is it. And I rolled it on my lower back, and I looked at the clock on my kitchen wall, and literally after suffering at a pretty good rate, I don't like pain, it took 42 seconds and the pain that I'd had for 2 hours totally went away. So at that point I said, I will always have one on me for emergencies, but I can't put it in the front of my body because I can't smell it. So Kara, if you would share with us about Clary Calm, please.
Yes, great. So Clary Calm is you know, again, one of my favorite books is Ayurveda and Aromatherapy. I get so much information and so much learning from this book because my background is Ayurvedic medicine and then my years of experience using essential oils. So Clary Calm, again, it's not one of my favorite oils, but I love it because of its medicinal properties. And like, according to this book, Clary Calm, Clary Sage is one of the best oils for balancing female hormones. The best, it's calming and relaxing, like Chana said, so that just reintroduces us to the idea that it can be smelled at night or put in the diffuser at night if you are having trouble calming down and going to sleep. It has an aphrodisiac quality, so if you are having low libido in relation to hormone imbalance, it's something that you want to include in your routine on a daily basis of using it daily. It has female immune stimulating qualities. So you hear all these information, it stimulates your immunity, it's an aphrodisiac, it's calming, it's an antidepressant, it helps with uterine cramps. So we know how to use it if we're actually having cramping. You can put it in a neat or in a carrier oil around your belly button for actual cramping. But another way to really use it effectively is cortisol, which Hannah mentioned is a stress chemical that's produced by the body due to stress. And I think women have a tendency to produce more of it than men, and we have a tendency to hold it in our middle, in the adipose tissue in the center of the body, so around the belly. So if you feel like you're exercising and you're eating well and you still have a bit of a little poochy belly, that probably is you holding onto cortisol in the adipose tissue of the belly. And how you get rid of that for physical reasons, wanting to get rid of your pooch, but also getting rid of the cortisol, is a drop of Clary Sage with lavender every day around the belly button. And it can go a little bit in the belly button too. And that releases cortisol in that fat tissue in the belly. So yeah, you're going to do two things. You're going to release belly fat, but you're also going to release that stress hormone, cortisol, and balance out your hormones for maybe not getting cramps when the period comes, for feeling just more balanced and having a good high libido and high energy to be that superwoman that we're here to teach ourselves and each other how to be. So that's Clary Sage.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay. So we will talk about Geranium, my dear friend. I love her so much. Sometimes when I'm sad, I just spend some time with her. I love her. Geranium is calming. If you have geranium, you can smell it. If you don't yet love geranium and you have it, you can just smell the cap. It's a little more gentle. It's super calming and repairing. You can like smell that it's a little bit medicinal, even on the outside. It has that a little bit medicinal smell because it repairs tissues. It repairs the skin. It helps with dry skin. It helps to balance dry skin or oily skin, depending on what it needs. It is a balancer. Geranium has one of its nicknames is poor man's rose. They say if you don't have rose, use geranium, but I don't like that nickname because geranium really deserves her own spotlight. She's super special. I can tell you when I got introduced to geranium by a healer that was working with one of my kids, and she gave him a little massage on his back with geranium and lavender, and he loved it, and it was just like melting in her hands. And he said, please, Ima, get this. And it was before I was a aromatherapist and before I worked with doTERRA. And so I bought it and I really didn't like it, but it made him so happy. So fine, I started using it. And then I joined doTERRA and I heard this amazing class about geranium and how it opens your heart and it's great for your heart chakra. and helps to open you up to love, to be more loving, and to love others more. So he said to put a drop on your heart to open yourself up more to love. And I had 4 young children at that time. They were all very young. And I started like my own rituals. My first like essential oil ritual I had started was at about 10 minutes before the school bus pulled in. I would stop my work and whatever I was doing and go to the oil box and put 1 drop of geranium on my heart and just smell it and just stand there and know that this was going to help open my heart and to be more loving and to focus on being more loving and receive my children in that way. You know, we're all busy people, busy moms, whatever it is that we're doing, and it's hard sometimes to transition and let go of your agenda as a woman and as possibly a working woman. And here in Israel, our kids come home from school really early when school was open, and it was hard. So I would put a drop on my heart and just meditate on loving them and receiving them and loving the afternoon. That like, okay, now like Ima's work morning is over and all that Ima time and whatever I want to do and the quiet of the house. And it helps to transition because it's about love. So it's really special, and I encourage you to try it if you haven't. And it is very strong. So it is great to blend with other oils like the Clary Sage, like lavender, wild orange. It's also a great oil for birth, again with wild orange. It's great for low libido. So it's all these things that nurture our system as a woman, and it's really special. It's also great for skincare. It's in most of the doTERRA, I think, skincare products because of that, because it's so restorative to the skin. It's also a detoxifier. So it's in a blend called Zendocrine that helps to cleanse our organs. And when we're talking about balancing our systems, we need to also always be thinking about the liver and the gallbladder and the pancreas and cleansing our organs to keep our skin healthy, to not be exhausted, to balance our hormones. So geranium is also great for that. You know, at the beginning, I didn't mention the ways that we use oils. I know many people on the call are already very familiar with doTERRA oils, but I will do a little review that there are 3 ways that we use the oils. One is to smell them directly, like what we were doing in our hand, smelling the oil and getting the aroma right into our brains, into our brain chemistry, which is a great way to lower the cortisol. Also put it on topically. So geranium is one of the oils we can put on with or without a carrier oil, depending on the situation. I love a carrier oil because I love it to just spread more evenly and just, you know, in a more yummy way. I feel like 1 drop of oil is kind of dry. So I like to add it to a cream or an oil. And the last way is to put it, is to take it internally. So geranium, it's super strong and you feel like you're eating a garden, but it is a good detoxifier if you want a little bit, even like like the tip of a toothpick into your geranium, and then you can put it in water and maybe with some orange is a great way. And all the single oils like this, the ones that say that you can eat them, they are kosher. So I love geranium for detoxifying, especially at this time of year with all the chagim and the chaims that, you know, little extra geranium. And then because we can use it topically, right on the skin, you can put it on your liver, on your stomach, on your organs, and then it goes in and works on those areas more directly. So that is geranium. Do you have anything you wanted to add about geranium, Kara?
I have just a little thing about geranium is, so when, for some of us get the cold sores in our mouth, and it's a big sign that the body is under stress and that we're holding on to things internally, myself included. So I feel like I'm holding it together, and then I get a cold sore in my mouth, and I know that I'm not holding it. I'm holding it too tightly together because my body is expressing it. So geranium is one of the best oils for getting rid of, like, those of us that are familiar with cold sores in the mouth. You get a tingling on the inner gums, or and before the full cold sore expresses, if you can catch it before the full expression with geranium, it will never present itself. And you're not pushing it back into the system like some medications do. The body's just absorbing that geranium and helping again to balance the hormone levels and the stress levels that are causing that expression through the cold sore, and you're just going to get rid of it. And then it also reminds you, like, take some breaths. Life is beautiful. Smell your geranium, and take care of yourself, and know that everything's okay. So that's my thing about geranium.
Awesome. So I just want to add that these oils are great to use on our kids also. We're talking about hormones, so anyone that has teens, preteens, these are also great to use and safe to use on children. So I worked with someone one time who, I guess he was starting his hormonal journey, and his mom said he was suddenly like depressed, and she wasn't sure why. And we talked about his age and what was going on for him. And so we used Clary Sage, right? Great hormone balancer, along with a citrus oil, like an uplifting, happy oil, and put it on the bottom of his feet. He didn't have to feel it. He didn't have to rub it on his body. I mean, he didn't have to smell it. He felt us touch his toes. He didn't have to smell it, right? Because often, especially boys, they don't want perfume. And in 2 days, she said all that downward spiral emotion that he was feeling was alleviated. So not everyone responds that quickly. This child happened to, but don't forget, your teenagers can also benefit from geranium and Clary Sage. And it's great also for the hormonal skin to use it after cleansing. You can use Clary Sage and geranium on a cotton swab and clean up the skin and help to balance that teenage acne. And with some tea tree, but we're not really talking about tea tree tonight. Awesome. So we're going to move into Yarrow Pom. Actually, you know what? First I'll mention Ylang Ylang. Where's my Ylang Ylang? Here. Ylang Ylang is awesome and super sweet. If anyone has it, you can grab it. It's such a bouquet of flowers. It's super sweet. It's to me, it almost smells like Hashem like poured vanilla on these flowers, that it's so sweet. And wow, I just totally felt my chest relax taking that second deep breath with it. So Ylang Ylang is great for libido. It's a big libido booster. So whatever else you're using, if you want to boost your libido, you can add this to it. Put this in some massage oil, put this in a diffuser in your bedroom, rub this on your feet. You can rub it right by your ankles. It's a great spot for women. It is an aphrodisiac 1000%, and great to raise the libido. It's also, interestingly, great for hair loss, which I have a feeling is connected to the hormonal hair loss. I found that really interesting. And this is beautiful. You can wear this as a perfume. Again, it is super sweet, so you could blend this with the Clary Sage and possibly some lavender. It's really a beautiful oil with a lot of, it's just lovey, so sweet. That's great. Okay, so that's what I'm going to say about Ylang Ylang. And you don't need a lot of Ylang Ylang. Ylang Ylang lasts a long time because most people don't want to use so much of it because it's so sweet. But it is a great one to have on hand dealing with hormonal issues. Okay, so yarrow. Yarrow Pom is a newer product of doTERRA, and it is amazing. So this is, where's my camera? This is Yarrow Pom, right? It comes in a 30 ml bottle, and it's blue when you look at the oil, which is super great. So let's look at that. You see that blue? That's from its chemical constituents. They do not add any coloring to this, obviously. This is yarrow, the flower, with pomegranate seed oil, right? In Hebrew, pomegranate is rimon, and we just had Rosh Hashanah, and it's a big time of rimonim. So it's amazing, and rimonim are super healthy. I believe it is the fruit with the highest antioxidant level. If someone thinks something is higher, you can put it in the chat. I don't know. It is an unbelievable healer, the pomegranate. And there's actually a lot of research. I found a whole bunch of research how it helps cells go into apoptosis. For anyone who doesn't know what apoptosis is, it is the natural life of a cell. The cell needs to die after a certain amount of time. I don't know how much time that is. We're always, you know, getting new cells, growing new cells, and if they don't die, that's when we have a problem. If cells in our body don't die, that's when you can get cysts or growths or, God forbid, anything worse than that. So pomegranate is amazing to not get those things. Many researchers suggest drinking pomegranate juice every day to avoid problems in the body. It is especially connected to not growing extra cells in your breasts. And I actually saw a couple of studies, a bunch of research done, clinical studies done here in Israel through the Technion and in Haifa, using pomegranate to treat overgrowth of cells, even from a long time ago. So I'd actually love to see their follow-up on how they're using it. I actually wanted to read right out of this book. This is great, The 7 Healing Fruits of Israel by Shoshana Harari. It's really awesome, and talking about them. And I just wanted to read this one bit, that pomegranates are unique in that the hormonal combinations inherited from the fruit seem to be helpful both for the prevention and treatment of overgrowth of cells in the breast in particular. And pomegranates seem to replace the needed estrogen often prescribed to prevent postmenopausal women from heart disease and osteoporosis, while selectively destroying estrogen-dependent cell overgrowth. So that's from Dr. Ephraim Lansky, and he headed the study. And then Dr. Martin Goldman said that this is apparently a safe substance that can be helpful to many people, especially women at higher risks for developing problems in their breasts. So I highly recommend everyone gets rimon, gets pomegranate, and in particular, this is amazing. And that's just the pomegranate side of it. Then we have the amazing effects of yarrow, which it is a balancer, right? So we're talking about balancing hormones and emotions, and this book says that when feeling torn, the oil helps us reconcile opposing forces. That yarrow has both yin and yang in it, which I don't think is common. So it balances the highs and the lows, and this is a perfect companion in times of major life changes, life crisis, midlife crisis, menopause, all these transition. It has, yarrow is all about these balancing properties for both medicinal and emotional. So it is a great remedy for menopause, peri-menopause, and I can tell you my personal story is that when I started using this, thanks to Nechama Tovi, on my abdomen, as I entered my peri-menopause, my cycle had gotten extremely short, and when she said, you know, you can put it right on. And so I started putting it on my lower abdomen, and I went from a 21-day cycle to a 32-day cycle the very first time. So I use this on my abdomen every single day, and I love it. It does have other uses, like brightens your teeth. So my son, it's a skin oil. It's so funny. It does all these things. They call it the fountain of youth oil now, and people rave about the property, how it helps the skin. My son likes to put a drop on his toothbrush and brush his teeth with it every few days to help whiten his teeth. It's super amazing. I would probably use it way more, except yarrow is a close cousin of chamomile. So it has, for me, the slight similarities of the smell, which means it has the chemical composition similar to chamomile. So I can't use too much of it. If I was not sensitive to chamomile, I would take this internally. I think this would be extremely powerful. I know a lot of people do, and they love it. I don't know, Cara, if you do, you can tell us about that. I'm afraid to because of my allergies, but I love it. That's great.
Yeah, so I'm ready to talk about Yarrow Pom. It's one of my favorite oils, and I use it for the two ways that Hannah mentioned, one for hormone balancing and two for skincare. So I use it in the evening. So for skincare, I use it twice a day, morning and night. And I wash my face. I use the doTERRA, watch my skincare video about my routine for face, but I use the doTERRA essential skin products for washing and moisturizing my face. And then I use rose essential oil and the Immortelle essential oil. And then I use a drop of the Yarrow Pom, about that much, on my fingertips. And I apply it. I have a little bit of makeup on, but I'm going to put it on anyways. I put it under my eyes. It's my eye serum. I love it around my eyes. And then I take the rest of it around my forehead and my upper lip and smile lines. And I do this every night and every evening for my skincare. And I feel like it is making such a difference, because we are like flowers and like plants. We're drying up as we age, and our skin and the wrinkles in our skin is genetic, but it also is just dry skin and allowing the skin to get too dry. And so the Yarrow Pom, the yarrow root, also is helpful for discoloration or any, you know, sometimes people get the darkness under their eyes. So the yarrow root is good for blending or balancing out that. And then the pomegranate is just super moisturizing. Like Hannah said, somebody on the group asked if you could use it. You can use it by itself. It's in pomegranate seed oil, so it's diluted with an oil already, for its synergistic effects of those working together for your skincare. I just learned from Hannah about the teeth thing. That's awesome. I'm gonna for sure start to then, after I do my skin, take another little drop and rub it on my teeth, because also it's gonna just be great to ingest it, as we know. And Nakama Tovi, I also owe her a lot of credit for my hormone routine. You can take it internally to help regulate your period, or you can, so if you're putting it on your teeth to whiten your teeth, you're gonna take it internally. The second thing that I always do after my skincare is then I do that exact same routine in the morning for my skincare. And then for my hormone balancing, I use, and this will take me into the Clary Calm soon, Clary Calm is the blend that I'm in charge of talking about today. I do a circle around my belly button with this. And before I spread it in, I do a drop of the Yarrow Pom directly on my belly button. And then I massage both together around my belly button. And I started using this combination because too, I'm peri-menopausal. I'm turning 48 this week.
Woohoo.
And woohoo! And my period was getting shorter, and I just using it after 1 month consistently every day, went back to 28 or plus day cycle, and I use it every day, once a day, and I stay at that 28-day cycle. And this is important beyond reasons of nida and intimacy. It's important for how you mature and how you age and how you grow gracefully into pre-menopause, menopause, post-menopause. So this takes me into, Hannah, can I just go into my part of Clary Calm and Ayurveda and Essentials? Great. So menopause, it's all over the place when it starts. Between 30, and according to this book, between the ages of 35 and 65. Like, so good luck, like deciding, understanding when that's going to happen for you. And it's not like our parents pass it on to us so much anymore, our mothers. The doctor that I was recently on said, your menopause will resemble your mother's menopause. Like when she started, that's when you'll start. Not true. My mom had a full hysterectomy before 50. That's not going to be the case for me. I'm still on a 28-day cycle, and I had a baby at 45. So, and according to this woman too, we can take charge of how we move into menopause gracefully, because this is a period of moving into understanding your intuition and getting in touch with your true feminine powers. It's such a wonderful time. It's not a time to be scared of. It's not a time to be secret about. It's not a time to be ashamed of. This is a time of moving away from the childbearing years and taking care of little babies, nursing and changing the diapers, into our wise wisdom years of having time to be more quiet, to be more intuitive, to feel into our true feminine powers. And we should be doing that with grace and ease. So in this book, it says, use herbal medicine, use these essential oils to go into your menopause at the age that you're meant to, not at the age that your mother did it. Because are we doing the same things that our mom did? No. We're supposed to be building up off the shoulders of our mothers and our ancestors and improving this experience, and then passing on an improved experience to our children. So let's improve our experience of going into premenopause and menopause with these amazing tools of the essential oils. So and this book dedicates a whole chapter to essential oils and menopause or premenopause. So she said that she was experiencing premenopausal symptoms, and when she started using the tools of yoga and essential oils and some internal herbal medicine, she kept her menstrual cycle. Not everybody may want to do this, but her menstrual cycle stayed regular till she was 67. Maybe that doesn't want to be, maybe you don't want that as your story, but there's something about keeping your menstrual cycle regular, and that keeps your youth, and your wisdom and your feminine power. So I don't want to keep my menstrual cycle to 67, but I do want to just stay healthy and powerful as a woman, and go into menopause with ease. And so the oils that they recommend for this is all the ones that we're talking about. Cedarwood, we didn't mention. I'm not going to go into too much detail about cedarwood, but cedarwood is in the Clary Calm, I believe. Is cedarwood? Yes, it is. It's in the Clary Calm. Cedarwood is calming, relaxing, so really balancing out those emotions, comforting, and then it helps to get rid of that mental fog that happens when you have if there's a hormone imbalance, or menstrual period, or you're going into premenopause, menopause. Clary Sage, we talked about, is an oil for this time of life. Carrot seed, which is Vitex, it's in the Clary Calm. Carrot seed is moisturizing to the tissues, so helping to have more moisture to the skin, the facial skin, but also to uterine lining. So not getting dry during intercourse, and you know, that surely brings down your libido if it's painful. So carrot seed, clary sage, all of these oils are helpful for not the skin to not dry out and the uterus, the vagina, not to dry out. Jadamamsi is the next oil that they're talking about, and Jadamamsi in Western language is spikenard. This beautiful little oil. I'll print it when I'm not talking in the comments, but spikenard, its Ayurvedic Sanskrit name is Jadamamsi. And this is a progesterone stimulating oil. So it helps your body to stimulate progesterone. And when you're going into premenopause and menopause and you're getting hot flashes and all those symptoms that make life not feel comfortable, they'll recommend a progesterone cream. You don't have to use that if you don't want. Try spikenard. Putting it in your diffuser at night while you're sleeping, so you're smelling it, taking it in aromatically, or include it on the belly with that Yarrow Pom lavender combination, Clary Calm combination. So I'll remind you what the combination is after I go over these last oils. Rose is the other one that they recommend to use consistently when you're wanting to balance out your hormones and go into peri-menopause, pre-menopause with ease. And the last one is sandalwood. So wait, let me tell you about rose. It helps you to regulate your menstruation. It helps with migraines due to your PMS. It detoxifies the liver, detoxifies the liver, and it encourages patience and love. So rose, we need a lot of that when the kids are online schooling. And then sandalwood is really good for insomnia. Now, I just learned that in this lesson, preparing for this lesson. I've noticed in these last couple months that I've had difficulty sleeping. Never been a problem for me, never. And I used to use Roman chamomile. It's not doing the trick. You know what I'm gonna do tonight? Sandalwood. I'm gonna smell sandalwood, because it might be due to perimenopause, going into perimenopause. So smelling sandalwood, it's also great for the face. So I'll probably just put it around my nose so I'm smelling it all night and can go to sleep very easily. And the last oil good for this time of life is vetiver. So there's a lot of oils there. Let me tell you about my routine, because you don't think that you're gonna be able to get all these oils on every day. So what I do, right? So your take home is try this. Clary Calm has almost all the oils in it that we just mentioned. It has geranium, it has lavender, it has Ylang Ylang, it has the cedarwood, it has the vitex, which is the carrot seed. It doesn't have rose.
It has the clary sage, though, that
It
we
has
know that was so important.
clary sage and geranium. So almost all those oils are in Clary Calm. And what I do, only one time a day is I need it, but some people may see that they need it twice a day. It's not quite doing the trick, but you do it around your belly button, a circle around your belly button. You only need one circle. Don't do a bunch of swipes, because that's too much. One circle around your belly button. Don't rub it in yet. Then you do one drop of the Yarrow Pom right on top of it. We're doing the lavender because that gets rid of the cortisol and the little tiny belly fat there that might be holding on to stress hormones. So one drop of the lavender. And I'm going to include this in my routine because I just learned this from this talk. One drop of the spikenard. Then rub it all in around the belly button together and smell it. It's all on your hand. So after you rubbed it in, smell it. So you're getting it topically and aromatically. And do that. What's best for you? Is it best to do this routine at night? Then do it before bed. I like to do it first thing in the morning, right after I've brushed my teeth and washed my face. I do it first thing in the morning. Just try it one time. you will have a regular menstrual cycle. You'll go into perimenopause with more ease. You'll lengthen maybe the time that menopause comes, or you'll have an easier postmenopause, and you'll continue the feeling and the healthiness of just these tools. Not necessarily that we're wanting to prolong, like just stay youthful for the rest of our lives, but there's benefits of using tools to feel energy, to feel your power, to feel your intuition, to feel good, to age with grace, to feel like a 30-year-old in a 65-year-old body. That's okay. I'd like to feel like I'm happy to feel this way and age, but feel well. I'm not afraid of aging. I want myself and all of us to do it where we feel well, we feel strong, we feel powerful, because that's why we're here, ladies. We are powerful women here to heal ourselves and the people in our lives. So do it and share it. That's my Clary Calm and my routine. Go girl.
Okay, I'm gonna just talk, because you brought up the issue of sleep, and sleep is so important, and it is one of the things that gets thrown off from hormones, which also you don't have to start having hormone dysregulation at the start of perimenopause or at any point of menopause. It can be at any time. Your hormones can be out of whack. We've all heard a story or met someone who it was really hard to conceive a baby. You know, that is a hormone issue usually. So it can be at any age. So don't wait to take care of yourself. But I want to just read this excerpt. This is also, since Kara shared her book.
Hannah, don't, like what you said, don't wait, you guys. Start this routine now. It doesn't matter if you're 65 or 20. Do it, do it now.
Right,
go.
Right, age well. This is the Essential Oils and Hormone Solution book. It is so fabulous, by Dr. Marisa Snyder. I love this so much. I love it so much, actually, that I had lent it to someone and couldn't find who I lent it to. So I got another one. I said, I'm sick of looking. And Book Depository delivers it for free to Israel. So get it, everyone get it. And
show it again. Show the title again.
The Hormone Essential Oils Hormone Solution. Very good. And she has a ton of information online. She has a fabulous podcast. She's amazing. And she just got pregnant. She has her first baby that she's carrying. She's now 5 months pregnant for the first time in her 40s. I think she's 40. So she talks about her journey and all these things and how she came to this natural lifestyle through her own thyroid struggles and Hashimoto's disease.
What's her name again?
Dr. Marisa Snyder. I can post that after in the notes.
What's it called? The Essential Oil Hormone Solution?
Yeah, everything we're talking about right now. Essential Oils Hormone Solution. Yeah, she's fabulous. So in terms of estrogen levels, again, just going back to the sleep, and I want to talk about this as we are finishing up. We want to have a good night's sleep. That's also super important. Right? You can take all the supplements you want and use all the oils you want and all the natural products you want. And if you're not sleeping, you're still going to be in the hole. Like, you have to get good sleep. And I'm totally talking to myself. I have such a hard time going to sleep before midnight. I'm going to try that Spikenard. Estrogen levels naturally fluctuate during the menstrual cycle, and which is why many women have trouble sleeping possibly at the onset of their cycle, when levels are at their lowest. Estrogen levels are at their lowest at the beginning of the cycle, and they continue to decrease during perimenopause and through menopause. And this can definitely compound sleep issues. And that's one of the reasons for this estrogen influence is how well the tissues and the bones, right? I feel like we're getting a lot of questions lately about osteoporosis and bone health. It is harder for the bones to absorb magnesium, and magnesium is very important for sleep regulation. So it aids in the melatonin processing. So less estrogen means less efficient magnesium metabolism. So it's all different things. It's not just cramps, it's also bones, it's also sleep, it's also headache, fatigue, diet, all these things, the adipose tissue. There's so many parts to our body, to all the different parts of our body, and the essential oils and the supplements can help us address all these different parts. And we're here to help you and figure out the best way to do that and to.
Nat, you want me to just give you some fish and salad?
Oops.
Or sweet potato?
Oops.
Jamie, can you mute yourself, please?
Sorry.
I'll take sweet potato.
So to age gracefully and be sure you get enough sleep and enough rest and enough water. Hydration. We talked a lot about dryness. So we need to hydrate ourselves. And if I hear from a lot of people, I don't like to drink water, it's boring. So put some essential oils in your water, some lemon, some geranium, some green mandarin, whatever it is that makes you happy. And the last thing I'll say is that you need to be happy. We all need to be happy, right? If we're not happy, we're still running amok with our hormones in our system. When you are happy, the stress level is down. When you smile, you're less stressed. That is the way Hashem created us. So find an oil that makes you happy, even when things are hard, and go to it. So they're easy, they're accessible, they're safe, and they're super fun, and they're safe for the whole family. So if you have any questions, you can stay on. I'm gonna stop the recording now. Thank you all so much for coming. Shana Tova. I think actually, Carrie, you were recording.
Yeah, thank you guys, everybody. Oops, hold on, let me stop it. I stopped my video, not the recording.